In this video, I'm going to be touching on the fundamental principles for child development and how we can help kids who have developmental delays or developmental problems like autism, for example, in a process that is actually going to work and be sustainable for the long run. The reason why I'm making this video is to highlight the misinformation and make the parent aware of the gaps in this field, making sure that the parents are going to work on the important things and what are the things that are really going to be helpful for your child and for your family in general. So in today's world and online world especially, I'm seeing a lot of misguidance, a lot of uh, things that are very unfortunate happening in this field of health and specifically the field of child development. Because parents are very sensitive to this subject, they are being misled and they're being used by those influencers or these clubs or communities that are guiding parents towards the wrong path. And I'm going to prove to you why the right path is in this essence of this video. And the right path is to help children get back on the track of development. The wrong path would be something that is going to misguide parents away from the main thing that they have to work on. So anything that would sell the parents a magical cure in a specific product, right? A specific supplement, for example, that is a misguidance. That is going to confuse the parent and is not going to highlight the main foundational principle that they have to work on. So when it comes to child development, it's very important to understand how it unfolds. Child development is a process that the human being is going to go through physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, not only on a physical level. Now, many people misunderstand that, and they think that only if we have to deal with the physical, then everything is going to be natural. But sadly, today we're not living in such reality. Today we're living in a technological era. We're living in a society that is used to suppressing their emotions. They're not listening to their body. There's a lot of health problems in the environment. And the problems are just all over the place. So we cannot just reduce it down to fixing a specific diet or adding a specific supplement. That's so materialistic. The real solution goes back to a holistic perspective that not only includes dietary changes, which is like it's very well known that there are processed food that is bad for you. Like everyone knows that. Even those who eat processed food will know that processed food is going to be bad for you. So these are like well-known information, but let's talk about the deeper stuff, right? Many people are going to use such negative or bad news to sell their products and their detox whatever, but it's not that is going to help in the holistic mission, right? So there's a emotional aspect that we have to work with. There's a spiritual aspect that we have to work with. And there's a mental and relationship aspect that we have to work with. It's not only physical. So I think that's clear for now. Now let's talk about the holistic aspect. The holistic aspect of child development starts with the parent-child relationship. It's very important that the parent understands themselves and are aware of their habits and their traits and how they see themselves. This is a very important concept in child development. If the parent sees themselves as like they have a low self-image about themselves, the child will develop with such concept about themselves. Not only that, the child will always continuously mirror the parent. Their emotional state will reflect on their child. Their mental state will reflect on their child. Their spiritual state will also reflect on their child. So during child development, the parent is not separated from the child. The parent is the child, we can say. And the child is not detached from the parent. They still identify with the parent. Until they are very mature, maybe at 16, 18, and even then, kids today are not separating from their parent, and they're still identifying with their parents. And even some adults, they don't really have any health problem or any developmental problem per se, and they're not diagnosed with any health problem or mental health problem or social problem. They are basically identifying with their parents. They still identify with their parents on an unconscious level. So until that detachment happens, the child is still part of the parent. The parent has a lot of influence on the child. And this is the important thing in child development. And the important thing in the intervention, whether we're intervening with the autism world, how we can help kids who have autism, and whether we are helping kids who have global developmental delay or any child developmental delay, right? Like speech therapy, potty training, etc. So we have to understand this holistic aspect, not only a physical thing or one problem or one cause to the problem, right? Or the situation. There's several causes in most instances, right? And that's the main thing that we have to understand to be able to do the right approach, the holistic aspect. So the parent is very important aspect or part of this equation. So as the parent works on themselves, they are going to automatically work on the child. This is not a fantasy. This is not a theory. It's actual facts in psychology, in biology. The human body is actually connected with the mother, right? We know this during birth and after birth as well. They are still connected. The child still identifies with the parent, more specifically with the mother. So working on the emotional state of the parent is super critical, right? So how is this being impacted in today's world, in today's society? We see a lot of people coming up with solutions in a tablet or in a supplement, right? Or in a therapy. This completely puts the power away from the parent and from the child and puts it outside of themselves, puts the power outside of the house. And this is wrong. This is one of the main messages that I'm standing up for and saying that the main thing that we have to work with is this parent-child relationship, right? And the parent-child relationship doesn't only mean by the amount of time that is being spent with the child. The parent-child relationship is much more deeper than that. It's the mindset that the parent will have towards the child and towards themselves and towards the family, towards their priorities, towards their goal, right? Towards life and towards spirituality. So towards life in general, the parent has a huge influence on the child and on the child's development just by certain state of being, right? So whenever we are going to work with the parent on this state of being, the child will automatically change to the better, right? Of course, if we are helping the parent. So that will also resolve all other symptoms when it comes to autism, right? Like if we are talking about picky eating, for example, if we're talking about late potty training, and they're still in diapers, or if they are hurting themselves, right? Or hitting others, if they're having a speech delay. So all these symptoms, right, that might manifest in a child will start getting better, right? And all that starts with the work that the parent does, right? This is why it's very important that the parent need to know their own power, right? You have a huge power and you have the capacity and you are the expert, right? Even though you think that, okay, your child needs an expert, no, you are the best expert there is, right? And once you tap into this intuitive approach, you start seeing things that experts who are proclaiming that they are experts around autism are not going to notice. You're able to work with your child at a very deep level and understand the macro things that you can change in the lifestyle, in the diet, that will be very, very helpful, right? So this is very, very important when it comes to addressing child developmental delays. So I hope this video makes sense and it's very short because I've been triggered by so many approaches out there, right, that are taking the power away from the parent. And I see that this is a very serious thing because it takes away the power from the home, right? It takes away the power from the home. And this is what happened with homeschooling. That's why homeschooling is like non-existent today, and everyone just goes to public school. It's because of this thing that happened where they've taken the power away from the household, away from the parent, right? And it's time to take back this power, not specifically in homeschooling, but more specifically towards what the parent is capable of and what the role of the parent can actually bring to the table in terms of child development. Okay, so whenever you see a lot of people promoting their ideas and their supplements or their pills or their magical diets, just understand that the solution or the work on development, on child development, is holistic, and it involves the parent at the core. And then more specifically, other than the parent, there's the siblings, right? The relationships that are around the child, those are critical, right? Very, very critical. If the child is walking in a household where they are feeling like victims, if they are walking in a household where like they are seen as very different or very special, and we need to just cater the world for them, that's going to affect them. So there's a lot of things that's going to affect the child and alienate them and cause these developmental problems psychologically, emotionally, mentally. And yes, of course, there are physical challenges that can cause these things to happen. I'm not saying that there's only one cause. There's so many causes, right? And some of them we cannot actually talk about on YouTube. But the main aspect of all this is to see the whole picture. And this is the most important thing because you may have been missing out on the most important opportunity that is right in your hand.